Welcome to the Take It Home podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all social media at DocSimmons17. I'm joined by the usual crew tonight. I'll give the hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. The Outlaw, Zach Hendricks. Find me on all social media at Z Hendricks Brand. And of course, you love your mama's favorite tag team together. Check us out at Country Air Official on Facebook and Instagram, or Country Air Brand on Twitter. And I'll pass it off to the Senior Official.
Guys, I'm Ref Perch. You can find me at Perch XLV, # for the Ref Brand, and Waffles Take It Home podcast.
Yes, sir. Zach, I saw you had some waffles.
Yes, sir. Sunday after a long weekend of catching people and taking nasty bumps, I woke up and I was like, "Bell, let's get some nice Belgian waffles."
Smart move. I just slept, but waffles was probably a good recovery.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Perch? How are you on the breakfast front?
We rocked some Oreo O's over the weekend with some blueberry Eggo waffles. It was a great breakfast. Brought me back to watching cartoons and wrestling back in the day, just as well as modern day watching some wrestling.
Yep. Very nice. Yeah, I did not have much in the way of breakfast. I am probably 40% Canes after this weekend, though. Lots of Canes over the weekend. A little bit of a contrast to last week where I was like 50% burrito, but not upset.
Worth it.
Yep. Know what else is worth it, Perch? Your banger of the week.
Oh yeah, this week's banger of the week. This was a live version that I heard, and it really hit the spot. Good emotion, good feeling, good storytelling, and the crowd took it away at a point. But a song that probably heard a million times, but when it hits just right. Tom Petty, Breakdown.
Okay.
This week's banger of the week. Just a good steady beat, good calm song. And that live version from like '85 was on the radio, and it was great. The crowd took it away and played like the whole first couple verses. And then Petty was like, "You guys are gonna take my job." and he went right into it. But just a great storyteller. Love Tom Petty.
And very appropriate with Super Bowl coming up, because I believe he had one of the better Super Bowl performances.
Yeah, that really was. He had a great one. I forgot who was in that one. It may have even
been it was just them.
Oh yeah, for the halftime show,
yeah,
it was just him, and he rocked it. Yeah. I can't remember who was in that Super Bowl though.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember who was in that Super Bowl.
No, but a great one. Tom Petty was great.
Yeah, can't complain about that. Yeah, that was. I think the year after is when we got Prince.
No, yeah, that was a good stretch of some rock bands. Man, Prince rocked it just as well too.
Yep, that was a solid stretch of Super Bowl performances. No complaints in the Simmons household. So, I know me and Perch talked about it a little bit before we started, but hey, Zach, you been watching any wrestling this week?
I feel like I have, but I'm gonna be blunt. I feel like all my weeks always run together, so I probably cannot name something. So, yeah.
All right, no problem.
Once I hear you guys say it, like I said, I'll spark my memory. I think we do. I think you guys pull the rib on me and make me go first to make me like realize later I do watch more wrestling than I think.
We'll just start saving you for like last.
No, I'm being blunt. Like I don't want people to think I don't. Like every time like you guys say something, I'm like, yeah, I did watch that.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
We know you watch wrestling. You just can't remember what you watched.
Yeah. And like, I mean, I watched the MJF CM Punk match for sure. I enjoyed the finish a lot. Like, I thought for the first time, I thought MJF should have been over, and yeah. I can't. Yeah. I'll let you guys go though.
All right, Perch, what have you been watching?
Man, I was a big fan of that John Moxley Wheeler Yuta match from last week. They went toe to toe for a good 15 minutes. Some Orange Cassidy on the outside and Danhausen. Danhausen hit that move on Moxley, and in comes Wheeler Yuta. So it's like you put a curse on him, and bam, it hit. Of all random things, but loved it. Moxley ended up getting his. But what was cool was the end of it when Danielson came in and they had themselves a little segment straight out of a Nintendo 64 video game. They're kind of talking back and forth, and but it was just one guy talking and you're pressing A as it's going through the word bubbles. But what he said was great. You know, the people he mentioned and a possible stable or, you know, a mentorship. Was all guys who are like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I want to see it. And
Yeah, I watched that connection as well.
and even if it's you know, they just have matches with each other, I'm all for it. He named a handful of guys and great wrestlers. So really liked that setup on AEW and good storytelling. One that I've been watching through clips, I haven't been able to watch the whole match yet, was Gringo Loco against Psycho Clown from GCW over the weekend. Now that was a straight up blood feud match. Great characters between the both of them, and they really mean business in what they do. I saw them square off the other week in Chicago for Galley Lucha, and that just started the feud. Their match at GCW was bloody and a mess and wild. Worth checking out, and I still have to see what happens in the exciting conclusion of that match. But definitely caught the eye. That's what I was reading in the newspaper when it came to wrestling.
I did see a couple of the post-match promos. I have not seen anything from the match itself. But yeah, looks intense. Myself, I also caught the AEW's Dynamite last week. It's been a while since I've been able to watch Rampage just because we've been on the road so much. But I did catch Dynamite. Yeah, the MJF CM Punk match was great. Danielson Mox conversation was great, and I think it was nicely juxtaposed with the Dan Lambert Brandy Road segment where Moxley and Brian were two guys that the fans were kind of definitely cheering Moxley and then begrudgingly cheering Danielson because he was making such great points, with Dan Lambert and Brandy Rhodes just unapologetically fans just booing them, trying to boo them out the ring. So I thought that was a very interesting dynamic they chose to put on the same show. Great show. I think that was also where we had the Pac and Penta match versus House of Black. Pac starting out with his eyes covered was great. I was really hoping he was going to keep it going for much longer. I was all about it, but still a great match. Love seeing Brody King on TV weekly. So lots of good wrestling there. I did watch a lot of old tag team matches. Me and Zach got a bunch of stuff coming up that I'm studying for. So I've been watching a lot of Brain Busters, a lot of Young Dragons, a lot of 3 Count, a lot of Air Raid, that cruiserweight tag division that WCW had. I've been watching a lot of that. Lots of good stuff that we will be stealing. So look forward to that, guys.
We love the steel.
Yep. Greats innovate, legends steal. So we live by that. Why don't we move on to talking about our weekends? Let's start with Perch, since I think he had the shorter weekend and his stuff happened first.
Yeah, we had a fun time at AAW in Chicago. It was a fun night of events, tons of matches on the card. I ended up having 4 in total. Match number 1 was a scramble match with a returning Shane Hollister from AAW, a man from the banners that they hang up. So cool to have that guy in the ring and to have the knowledge from a guy like a Shane Hollister, taking on Stephen Wolf, Davey Vega, and Storm Grayson. So a lot of guys who who we've gotten able to able to work with and learn alongside with a veteran like Hollister. So a fun match to be a part of to start off that pay-per-view. Then ended up having back-to-back matches. The next match was an awesome tag team match with Camaro and Outlaw against ACH and frontman Ja. Just a technical match back and forth. The heels were bruising. The quad father was quadding.
Yep. All in 5s.
It's just so good. And another, being in there with a veteran like ACH, we're all able to learn and get, heightened by his ability in the ring. Love anytime I'm able to have a match with him. It's a blessing because he was gone from wrestling for a while. It's very sad because against that Mance Warner and him, and he took a break for a while and thankfully came back and always able to learn something being in the ring with ACH. I learned how to run the ropes, or a technique of running the ropes, through watching him on the network, the Combine, 4 years ago. So, to have those moments years later, we're able to, work with him and see how he does it in person. Very cool. And then there was a hardcore match that took place between Fred Yehai and Shaft. I was not the ref for that match. However, they busted everything inside that ring. There were busted tables, busted bricks. I think Fred took a brick to the face, and we had to clean it up afterwards. So in the midst of the cleanup, because I had the next match, I started sweeping, and in the midst of sweeping, the broom head snapped. As is customary. Yep. crowd turned like that. But it was funny just feeling a Chicago crowd, having anything to yell at and to holler. They hollered obscenities about that broom. It was rather funny. But just to try to blend in, and well, there's the spotlight. Yep. Don't want.
No attention, please. No attention, please.
You guys didn't see anything. But got the ring cleaned and nice and ready for the next match, which was at the Josh Alexander against Mike Bennett match. Couple of good hard hitters, a lot of knowledge and experience amongst those guys. Holy smokes. Their time at Impact and Mike Bennett's time with ROH and the Kingdom, WWE, just lots of good traveling at NWA as well. Against Josh Alexander, who's like one of the best in the world right now. They had a very fun match, a clinic. Tried to take as much out of that one as I could. And it ended in a viciousness, which is good. And then the final match I had of the night was a AAW Heavyweight Championship match with Matt Fitchett against Laredo Kid. Laredo Kid is such a unique entity. Anytime you get a chance to see him, it's something you've never seen before. with more confidence than you could imagine someone pulling it off with. uh, Absolutely love him coming in as a challenger in that match. And he came up short, but I think he'll be back. Laredo Kid's got a lot more to offer, and he'll find his way back in Chicago soon. And then the final match of the night was a wild one with Silas and Manders. I wasn't in on that one. However, crowd control and security, and they ended up having a couple of doors set up on tables, and I had to be the barricade around that. And wild finale, wild finish. Everyone was safe, but crazy fun action. No shortage of entertainment at AAW. I think it was AAW Legacy. You can look back at the pictures and videos and such.
Yes, sir. Zach, how was our experience at AAW?
AAW was good. Shook a lot of hands, met a lot of new faces. Again, as Perch said, we watched the main event. We watched all the matches, but the main event closely because that one with Manders and Silas had the surprise with I'm sorry, I spaced out, Perch. I was like doing something for work. Did you mention the surprise?
No.
All right, then I will not mention the surprise, but there was a good surprise. I'm not gonna ruin it because I don't like being the guy who spoils, but I mean you'll see it on social media. But yeah, great surprise, great finish to the match. If you're not checking out AAW alive or just AAW in general, just check it out. I mean, they built that brand for a reason. Heard a little bit about how Danny said when he first bought the company, they were like one of the bottom companies in Chicago, and just hearing the story of how it where it was and where he's at now is crazy. So yeah, thank you to AAW for allowing us to just be there, be able to soak up the knowledge and all that. Hopefully we'll be back one day to compete, but till then we continue to process the grind and hit the roads like we did on Saturday going to Joliet.
Yes, sir. Saturday we were at Rocket Pro. It was it was like Heartbreak was the name of the show, I think, something like that.
Cupid's Carnage.
Cupid's Carnage. God, I was way off. For Cupid's Carnage, another debut for your mama's favorite tag team. So you know that means another shot at some tag team titles. It was a triple threat match with us, Youth Gone Wild, and the champions No Coast. Hard-hitting, fun match. About a 17-minute runtime on that. Bell to bell. It was a fun one. What you think, Zach?
Definitely fun. The next day, definitely felt the effects of the gorilla pass to the crowd. That for those who didn't see that, Tom Heisman of Youth Gone Wild picked up Doc Simmons, military pressed him over his head, threw him from the ring all the way out to the crowd. And when Doc says he has rock hard abs and he's made of stone and he's the greatest heavyweight of all time, there's never been a question. I've never doubted it. But if I ever were to doubt it, meeting Doc's abs to my face, going, I would say naturally as a heavyweight goes 69 miles an hour through the air.
At least.
At least. Yeah, I felt that one on the face, and I felt that one on the middle of the back the following day.
Yeah, not surprised. When I hit you, that felt solid. Like, ooh, that was a smack. Fuck you, Tom Heisman. Good match, hard hitting, some real big spots. Pay attention to the Rocket Pro YouTube page where they upload all their matches, so that should probably be up pretty soon. Can't wait to be back and maybe get a little revenge.
Yes, sir, and maybe collect some gold while we're at it.
Yep, you know, always use some more of that.
We have not forgot about that gold, but we good debut. We obviously did not get the win, but we are looking forward to coming back. Sunday was some nice R&R, but yeah, I'd say a good, successful weekend.
Definitely. And with that, why don't we just keep it moving to the topic of this week? They've got the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame going on, and they're announcing inductees. The American Dragon Bryan Danielson just got announced, so I figured this was a good time to ask the fellas, who would you like to see inducted into Ring of Honor's Hall of Fame? Let's start with Perch.
Straight up, this one comes with no surprise, and they will be inducted eventually. The Briscoe brothers, as good as a tag team gets from day one. Ring of Honor through and through. Anyone who's come through Ring of Honor went through them at some point. and just very strong, locker room kind of vocal guys, and very cool, very strong emotions, and people you see, working beside you, and you want to raise yourself to their level, whether it was in the ring or out of the ring, anything. They bring an intensity to them. Some awesome matches that I've seen throughout Ring of Honor, and more matches that they've had than I haven't seen. I think it goes without saying that the Briscoe brothers would be an awesome induction into the Hall of Fame.
Definitely can't argue with that one. I love watching their old stuff of things they don't do anymore. It's great to steal.
Okay. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but they were the first announcement to the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame class.
Oh, they were. I thought they might have been, but hey, good. Perch was right.
Sorry about that. But yeah. Arguably so, they should be one of the first guys in. They've been day one Ring of Honor guy. They've been Ring of Honor since day one. Yeah, I love watching their work. They always talk about wrestling believability, and there's no doubt whatever they do is believable.
Definitely. Zach, who do you want to see in there?
Mine is Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, everything he's done in Ring of Honor, everything he's done on the Indies. It just goes without saying. He's been in WWE, but before anyone knew, Samoa Joe had a great legacy in Ring of Honor, former Ring of Honor heavyweight champion, had bangers with such names as Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, and all that. So, yeah, definitely Samoa Joe would be the one I would pick.
I don't think anybody would argue against that. For me, I thought about this decently hard, and I actually originally had both your picks. Being a tag team wrestler, obviously I looked at the Briscoes. They've been a pillar of tag team wrestling for what seems like forever at this point. Samoa Joe, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's had legendary matches in Ring of Honor that I've gone back and watched, legendary freaking hour-long matches that I've watched multiple times. That eventually led to his run in Impact, where I first discovered him, and he's great there. He was great in NXT, underused and on the main roster, but not enough can be said about Joe. But who I ended up picking was actually Jay Lethal. For me personally, when I was getting back into wrestling, Jay Lethal was that pillar of Ring of Honor. That's when he was going on that, almost 2-year run, I believe, wrestling everybody, defending the title everywhere. Jay Lethal was Ring of Honor when I was getting back into watching wrestling and watching indie wrestling. So for me, it's got to be Jay Lethal.
Definitely. Any runner-ups? Mine was a hard one. I was thinking, of course, CM Punk.
Yeah.
And another one was Nigel McGuinness.
Nigel was up there for me. CM Punk, obviously. I'd like to see, maybe some non-wrestlers get in there. Maybe an Ian Riccaboni would be nice if they want to go some non-wrestlers in there.
Todd Sinclair.
Yep, Todd Sinclair's another one. Yeah.
Paul Turner too.
Yep. It'd be nice to get. I think we tend to focus a lot on the wrestlers. It's nice to acknowledge the other guys that actually help make the show possible. It's not just two guys in the ring. It's a whole show. So I'd like to see that. With that, moving right along. What do we got coming up this weekend? Why don't I go first? Because mine is short and sweet. I'm off this weekend. I am going back to Virginia for a bachelor party for one of my best friends. Really looking forward to it, seeing all the homies. I didn't really get a chance to see anybody when I was back home for Christmas. So this is a redo. So really looking forward to it. Zach.
Yep. The reason why Doc gets the weekend off is because those damn Caribbeans out here making some challenges for those who pay attention to the social medias. Chuco and Manny challenged us, said we can't do it on our own anymore. Country Air is just becoming way too big, way too glorified for their names. Just kidding. Yeah, they called us out, told us they don't think we can wrestle singly. They wanted to have mano on mano. So you know, Doc and I are men of our word. If you want one-on-one, we'll legit go one-on-one. And the best way to keep our word is one of us show up, one of us stay home and enjoy a bachelor party. I will be at Bruce City this Friday, wrestling either Chuco or Jay Manny. They have not told us who yet. I don't really care who. Either one can get it. So yeah, Bruce City this Friday, the Elks Lodge. One half of Country Air taking on one half of Caribbean Arrogance in a singles match. I think it should be good. And then Saturday, Bruce City will be out in I believe Hoffman Estates at the Now Arena. Is it?
I believe so.
We're going to be wrestling during a one of the amateur basketball games before the show, halftime, and at the end of the show. So Bruce City is a Bruce City all around weekend, feeling like a fair show.
Yeah, nothing wrong with those fair show weekends. We love fair shows.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Perch, what you got coming up this weekend?
We're kicking things off this Friday night at the Waukesha Elks Lodge. We're back for Bruce City Wrestling. It's going to be a fun Friday night of action. And then Saturday off to Cicero Stadium for Warrior Wrestling on Fight TV. That should be a really fun time. Some good action, good card lined up as well. And then Sunday, Zello Pro down in Chicago as well. A good lineup. Really all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Good cards, fun times. It should be an action-packed weekend.
Hell yeah. Crew staying busy, and that's what we like to see. Be sure to stay keep an eye on our social medias, find the times, find the places, come see your favorite podcast. And with that, Zach, do you have any final thoughts or questions?
All right. I'll save it for later. Nothing.
All right, we'll save that one for next time. Perch, any final thoughts or questions?
Yeah, Muda's still wrestling. So, still enjoy that every chance we get. I haven't seen any new installments, so I'm looking forward to it still.
Very well, nothing wrong with that. We've been ending on that note, so let's keep the streak going. This has been the Take It On podcast. Y'all be easy. 1.